What's up, everybody? It's Miles Turner, the Indiana Pacers. You're listening to the Paceroos Podcast. Be sure to follow at Paceroos on Twitter.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to the Paceroos Podcast, where we're overjoyed to be joined by longtime NBA veteran, former Indiana Pacer, former Seattle Supersonic, Damien Wilkins. Damien, thank you so much for giving three guys from Melbourne your time today. How are you?
I'm hanging in there, man. Just the climate of what's going on in this world right now is, heavy, but I'm above ground. I just met three guys from Melbourne, Australia that I didn't even knew me. So I'm doing great, man. I can't complain.
Awesome. It's obviously been a really weird year and a weird world at the moment. Post NBA, what does your life look like right now? I mean, you mentioned before the show you've got kids; they take up most of your time. But what are you currently focusing your energy into?
I work for the National Basketball Players Association. I'm a regional rep for them. Basically, I run our leadership development program, which is a program that we put on for current and former players to help them make their way to the front office of basketball operations and executive positions. Something that I can't wait to have the opportunity to do. It's something that I aspire to do and aspire to be. So I'm head of that program. I'm also, I oversee five teams. Denver, OKC, Atlanta, Indiana, and Utah. Whenever we have what we call our team awareness meetings, twice a year with each team, I go and just give those guys all the educational information that they need to further their career, help them to be successful both on and off the court, and, just provide financial information for them in education, provide relationship management education, provide career development education, things of those nature. So I've been very blessed to retire. I use that word lightly because I still haven't signed the paperwork. It's actually right here. And not break stride, man. Just walk right into, a situation that was waiting for me, where it still keeps me around the game, keeps me around the guys, and I get to work from home, so.
Amazing. In this climate, that's really, really important. Have you been taking a lot more Zoom calls lately with players and connecting?
Yeah. I mean, I'm on Zoom calls all day long. Like, this is what my fifth one today? Yeah.
Yeah.
That I've been on. So, set up shop right in my kitchen, and, I had to change from the office to the kitchen because I just needed to change the scenery after the first 47 days of this mess. So, but yeah, man, got to know Zoom a lot.
Yeah, it's been important for all of us, I think, to connect. But look, it's a really strange time, as we say in the world. There's some heavy stuff going on in your home at the moment. There's some protests happening. There's the Black Lives Matter movement, which Alex on our podcast has been a great supporter of. Alex, I know you had a question for Damien in relation to that, so I'll throw to you.
Yeah, obviously you touched on the fact that you are a representative for the Players Association, so I'm sure you've had some contact with Malcolm Brogdon, who's been incredibly vocal. How have you seen the shift in today's players, I think, using their platform to not just grow their personal brand, but to grow their image in terms of social justice and talking about political issues? We've seen it with another guy you played with, Miles Turner's being really vocal, Victor Oladipo, like all these guys nowadays using their platform to try to spark change and to influence, because we have a lot of younger NBA fans, so to influence them to actually go out and protest and vote. How have you seen the shift in NBA players?
What I've seen, like I said, I think it's the aggressiveness and guys are using their platform so well now, man. It's unreal. I think a lot of it has to do with guys not being afraid to step up and say the things that's necessary to be said. And not only are they talking, but they're putting action behind their words. And that is speaking volumes. I think, guys are realizing, their power right now, and they're exercising that, to bring awareness to injustices, to bring awareness to police brutality, to bring awareness to all the inequalities that go on, in the Black community. And everyone, pretty much, we have 450 guys. I mean, guys are just stepping up every day, being creative with their platform, being creative with how they're fighting this systematic just failure that we've had to deal with. So I'm extremely proud of the guys and proud of anyone, man, who stands up and, stands against all the things that's been going on for so long.
And it's interesting with the league almost coming back, the bubble in Orlando, and there's a lot of debate right now about whether the league should and who should and who feels comfortable with that arrangement. What do you see as someone that works for the Players Association? Are you more on the side of it gives players a platform to further this message, or are you more on the side of it distracts from the message and it, bring the league back would be a little more detrimental to the message that you're trying to send?
It's so much money involved
that
you still have to consider the business aspect of basketball, of professional sports as a whole. Sure, there are a lot of injustices and inequalities going on, but it didn't just start in 2020, right? Like, these things have been going on for, 400 some years, and it's still happening, and we still had sports during that time. So I think a lot of people want to get back to business, but that I also still think that in getting back to business, there's also more of an awareness to continue to fight for justices and for a quality of life that is mutually beneficial to all races. And I don't think guys are going to stop. But even now, the platform for these guys even grows larger now, because when basketball comes back, all eyes are going to be there. Like, no one's not going to watch basketball when it comes back. Even people who probably don't watch basketball now, they'll probably be tuned into it because what the hell else is on TV? So
exactly.
Yeah, I think everyone needs a little basketball back in their lives very soon. So we'll jump into your career more specifically now. In 2004, 2005, you got drafted by the Seattle Sonics. Or just want to get your opinion on, that franchise as a whole. I know a lot of fans think they should come back and get a franchise. What are your thoughts on the Sonics, and how were your early days playing in the NBA?
Oh, man, I love Seattle. I tell people all the time it was one of my favorite places that I've been and played. It's just an amazing city, man, amazing sports city. People there are just, so nice. Food is great. Little do people know their summers are probably unbeatable. In terms of the weather, oh my God.
You always hear about California.
No. Seattle, Washington, in the summer, it's probably about 77 degrees all summer.
Yeah, wow.
Like, it is amazing. It's they get a lot of rain, so it's really green in the summer. It's an amazing place. But I had to go there and make the team. So when I got there, I didn't know that it was going to end up like it did. I was hopeful, and optimistic that it would. But, I had a great time there, man, and I miss it. And I made some great friends. I learned how to be a professional in Seattle. Ray Allen was my mentor, still is.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, and he just kind of took me under his wings the first day I got there, and he didn't let up, and he, constantly taught me the ropes and helped me become, a better player, helped me become a better person, helped me become more of a professional. So I am greatly indebted to him for that. And it is an experience that I won't forget. I actually have my Seattle jersey hanging up on my wall. Of all the teams I played for, that's the one that's on my wall.
Awesome.
We don't want to hear that. We want to hear the Pacers.
I have the jersey still.
Nice.
I have my dad, my uncle, and my first teams.
Yep.
that we
Yeah.
all played for on my wall. So
How was that? How was growing up in a NBA household with an NBA family? Do you think you had better preparation? You understood what it took to get to the level compared to maybe some of your contemporaries, or do you feel like it was more pressure?
I didn't grow up in the household with my dad or uncle. I lived with my mom. My mom lived in North Carolina.
Yep.
My mom and dad met when they were very young, had me very young. So after I was born, my dad left North Carolina with his family, my grandmother, and they moved on because Neek was going to Georgia and all that other stuff. So I didn't move in with my dad till I was 14 years old.
Yep.
So I didn't necessarily grow up all the way in it, but once I got there, he was still playing, and it wasn't for me. My experience probably isn't what you guys would expect. I didn't even really grasp the magnitude of what my family had accomplished really like right away. It took me a while.
Yep.
I was so just like, you really do play in the NBA. Like, this wasn't like a rumor. Like, it's like, and then I would go to games and I would never ask for pictures. I would never ask for autographs. It was just, I always was like, I want this life.
Yep.
It was almost like I had a chip on my shoulder because I didn't have that life at 15, 16, 17. And I had to realize that, like, I have to wait my turn, right? So, yeah, I learned a lot through that process, but more importantly, what I learned from them are mistakes, how to be better from the mistakes that they made. That, to me, was the most important things that I've learned. Not, how to play, not what to do on the court, not how to score, not like none of that. The mistakes that they made, I was able to see firsthand. Financial mistakes, family mistakes, how they handled their career mistakes. Those were the things that taught me more than anything. Because the basketball part, honestly, has always kind of felt like it came easy to me. So, I took away the things that I thought were more valuable for me. And those, for me, it was, the pitfalls that they suffered.
It's important to not repeat the same mistakes, isn't it? So,
exactly. Yeah, that's how I did.
Awesome. Speaking of people you learned from, one through line in your career is Nate McMillan. He was your coach when you were in Seattle. He was your coach when you came to the Pacers. I want to ask you about Nate because, we've been great supporters of Nate on this show, and there's been a fairly divisive Pacers Twitter out there where some people really like what Nate brings and some people wish that there'd be a little bit more evolution to the style that he coaches and are overly critical, and we don't agree. We'd love to know what changed with Nate and what your experience was from Seattle to Indiana, how he grew as a coach, in your view, with all of the experience that you had. So what was your experience with Nate and how did you see him grow and evolve?
Sarge is what I call him. Nate is probably one of the hardworking coaches that I've ever been around. He is very passionate. And he's an underdog too if you follow his career a lot. So I think he and I just kind of relate to each other. Even to this day, I can call Nate. He'll answer the phone. We'll talk just about different things. And he, I think, has always been a fan of mine because the road to how I had to, earn my spot, he understood what it took. I had to really work my ass off, man. And I think he respected that because it's the fabric that he has. But he's an amazing guy. I think he's a great coach. Obviously he's a no-nonsense guy because he has to be. He has to be.
Yep.
It's a lot more pressure. The truth of the matter is just a lot more pressure on the African-American coach. Like, you have to go above and beyond, and you have to be, the hardest worker. And it's just certain things that you probably won't get away with that others could. And, I think he knows that. But I enjoyed my time, both times that I've had with Nate. And they've all been amazing experiences. I mean, he's given me my first and my last opportunity. Well, yeah, my last opportunity. I wouldn't I was going to say, I'm going to say last, but I'm not coming back.
Exclusive. You've heard it here first on the Paceroos Podcast.
I'm not coming
And
back.
you want to sign the contract on the air?
What about the
Sign the
Big Three
paperwork.
league? Would you consider going to the Big Three?
I would, but they won't let me play in it.
Why's that?
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I'm contracted with the NBPA as an employee, and the NBPA,
really?
I think they want an association with it for some whatever reason that beyond me. But yeah, I don't think I can play. I've tried. Trust me, I've tried.
Did you ever get an offer to come to Australia and play in the NBL?
Have I? I might have once, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, now that I think about it. I still might have the contract in my email.
Do you remember what team it was?
I don't.
No.
I got a message on WhatsApp
Really?
about 6 years ago asking me, was I interested in playing in Australia, and I never responded to the message.
That's
Would you
amazing.
consider today, or
But I what?
would you consider going today, or no?
If Australia have me,
Really?
I mean, yeah, I would
Will
still
you get you to the NBL?
I mean, yeah, I can get I ain't playing no defense anymore, but or a couple baskets for you if you want. But
You just want to play All-Star games from now on.
yeah, I'm not, I don't know. I've heard a lot about the league. I have a respect for it. I have respect for every league because I'm just a basketball guy. And I understand that no matter what level you're on, none of this shit is easy, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, it's not. So, but yeah, I've never been there. So to go out there to play basketball, sure thing. Heck yeah.
Once it's all over, you've got to come down and see the sights down here. You got to bring the kids down, come down during the summer, get away from winter, although that'd be difficult because obviously basketball is played during the winter, but that's when you got to come down here.
Yeah, I will, man. I will. I'm an open-minded guy, right? Like I can still do it. I know I can still play. I mean, I wouldn't, like I said, I'm 40 years old, man. Like, so I'm not a spring chicken anymore, but I'm better than a lot of 40-year-olds. I can tell you that.
Nice. Alex, you had a question about the Pacers.
Yeah, I was just going to say, because you had a 5-year absence from the NBA, I'm not sure if you ever thought you would be back. So how did that Indiana contract come about? Did they contact you? Like, was it just a last minute thing? Did you know you were coming back to the NBA? Were you working out for other teams? Like, how did that process work?
Well, let's see. Let me back up your question. The leadership development program that I'm over now with the PA, I was an attendee of that program, and I sat down with Kevin Pritchard was a guest program, a presenter. After the program ended, they do this thing where we do this thing called the speed dating part of it, where you sit down with an executive and, you just go, you got like 5 minutes to kind of sell yourself as a, pseudo interview type thing. So I was sitting down, I got to Kevin Pritchard, and I was the last one, and he was the last one. And his last question to me was, well, do you still want to play? Like in the NBA? Because at the time I was a year removed. Actually, no, I was 5 years removed, but I had always kept in touch. I'd always, always still involved with player association programs and all that stuff. So, and I said, yeah, I mean, shoot, given the opportunity, I would definitely still play. He was like, oh, okay. And literally an hour later, I go over to the Summer League games, and Nate McMillan is standing by the door. So I wrap it up, talk it up with him. Tell him I just saw, KP, and we were talking at leadership, all that. And he was like, oh, okay, cool. I was like, what you got going on? And he was like, man, we just, searching, trying to get better, looking for a veteran and all that. And I was like,
That's you.
I was like, wait a minute. It can't be a coincidence that KP just asked me that, and here I am talking to you, and you say we're looking for a veteran. So I said, how about this? And he looked at me. He was like, "You look like you're still in shape." I said, "Well, I never got out of shape throughout this hiatus, man. I've been playing everywhere." And he was like, "Well, shoot, maybe we should give you a call." I said, "Well, maybe you should." And I literally walked away from that conversation thinking to myself, like, he's not gonna call me. Like, that's just, friendly banter.
Yep.
And I got home 2 days later, and the next day my agent called me and said, "Hey, no, Chad Buchanan called me." And Chad said, "Hey, KP and Nate said they talked to you out in Vegas. Do you still want to play?" I said, "What? Why do you guys keep asking me? Like, what have I done to make you think I don't want to play?"
Yeah. You've been fighting for years in the G League.
What do you think I'm doing here? And he said, "Oh, I was just asking." "Okay, cool. So I'll call you right back." An hour later, my agent calls and said, "Hey, I just got this deal for Indiana." And I was like, "You just got this deal for Indiana?" No, no. You didn't get anything from Indiana. And I was like, "Well, what did they say?" They said, "We got a 1-year deal right here for you." And I called Chad. I said, "Chad, is this for real?" And he was like, "Yeah." Like, "Your bags packed?" I was like, "Yeah." That was August. No, that was July. 3 days after that phone call, I flew out to Indiana and I didn't leave. And that's how that happened, man. It was like the most unbelievable thing ever. And now here I am as a player, a Players Association rep over that program.
Did you start working out with teammates straight away when you got to Indy? Like, did you start connecting with people? And
I went there and got right in the gym. Like, I was already working out anyway. So, but I went there, straight away. I was like, I'm not waiting until training camp started. I'm out. So I left, and I was like, I got an apartment. Like, I got there like on a Monday. I was moving in my apartment on like Wednesday. Like, I was there, and my contract at that time was actually non-guaranteed, but I had I did not care at all. I was like, no, I'm here, I'm in, I'm not, like, this is it. This is what I've been waiting on this whole time. So got there and I got right in the gym.
It's a really cool story. I know as a Pacer fan, a lot of Pacer fans loved having you on the team for that season, but want to get your opinion on you play with some great players. Who's the best teammate you've played with? Like, you can see, you play with KD, Westbrook, even Oladipo at the end. Who's the best player you think, that you played with?
Talent-wise or just?
Well, you can do both, talent-wise, and then maybe your best mate on a team.
I
can see you doing the math of like who you don't want to say and who you definitely do want to say, who you're going to upset.
My best teammate has probably been Ray Allen, Drew Holiday, Thad Young. Yeah.
Thad keeps coming up. Thad, in these conversations, we keep hearing Thad's name as a leader and as a great person. What makes him so great to play with?
I've known Thad for a while. He went to Georgia Tech. I went to Georgia. So, there's that competition, that we go back and forth, trash talking with each other. We play together in Philly. And, he's a country guy like myself. So we're just like this. We just in sync with a lot of things. And we talk about a lot of different things. We talk everything from family to basketball to one day he and I running a team together. And talk about a lot of things. So, he's always been, more than just a teammate. He's a friend of mine. And, we have a lot of conversations about a lot of different things, man. And, it's funny because I tell people all the time, when you play professional sports, you connect with so many people, but you really only leave with maybe one or two friends because it's such a competitive environment, right? Like, even your people who you may be cool with or think you are friends with, you still root for yourself. Like there is a selfishness in professional sports that you almost have to have because you have to take care of you. So, the guy that you're cool with and go out to dinner with every day may play the same position as you. And when you're out there between those four lines, that friendship, it's like, well, listen, man, unless you're going to pay my family's bills and take care of my family, then are you really like, how much of a friend are you? So I'm just, I've been very fortunate to have a lot of good guys that I've been around throughout my career. And I'd like to say that hopefully when guys talk about me, they'll say that I was a good teammate, but that has a lot to do with guys that I've been around and learned from and talked to and sat with and fellowship with. And Thad is one of them. So in terms of talent, talented guys I play with, I would have to put KD at 1. Joe Johnson. And
Ray'd have to be in the top 3, wouldn't he?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Ray Allen. I was leaving him out, but, Ray, KD, Ray. Yeah.
Yep. That's it. Yeah. That's the list.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of, you said that, you come across so many different teammates, and Alex, you've got a question about one particular teammate that you would have come into contact with in the last season. Whenever we talk to a Pacers player, we have to ask about this guy.
Yeah, before we let you go, I'm sure you know who it is.
Yeah.
Gotta be Lance.
I think he's one of the most polarizing figures in maybe all of sports, but obviously as a Pacers podcast, we would be missing out if we didn't ask a former player about Lance, because he's arguably, I would say, one of the most, behind Reggie, like I'm sure you guys will agree, he's arguably one of the most loved Pacers of all time. So what is it like actually being in the locker room with him? Because we've heard all these stories, and what does he bring on the court as well?
Lance is in a class by himself. He's a special guy. But, you got to love him. I think just people, he knows how to entertain. He has a gift of entertainment. I tell him, dude, basketball is probably not going to be your biggest platform. Like he could be Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
Like he is seriously he just knows how to entertain. And he's one of those guys that, like, it's rare that everyone lives with the things that he does. Like no one else could get away with the stuff Lance gets away with. Like no one else could be cheered through like some of the nonsense that Lance does. Like no one else. Lance can come down and throw 3 behind the back passes in the game in a row, and they all go up to in the crowd.
Yep.
Yeah. And come down and hit a 3 on the 4th play and do the guitar thing and all that. And all those 3 plays that he turned the ball over with will be forgotten.
Yep.
Just he's an entertainer, man, and he has a gift of doing that, man. And it's like Indiana raised him. Like they've seen so much of him and from him, good and bad. And I think that's where the fondness comes in that. Like they raised him. He grew up there, like as a man, as a basketball player, he just grew up there, man. And that guy, man, is a star, man. He is a star.
Yeah. We are so hopeful that with this bubble plan and with the opportunity to potentially extend rosters, that he gets the opportunity to play for Indiana again. I think that would make us extremely happy and entertain the fans, because we all need some entertainment. We all need some happiness right now, I think, after the year that everyone's had. And Lance being on our TV screens makes us all really happy. So that's the fact. Just to close out, I think we need to circle back to what's going on right now. And I think, we're 3 white guys in Melbourne, and we need a perspective on what can we do to support this movement. This movement's not just, it doesn't just end on your shores. It started here as well. It's, there are protests going on with tens of thousands of people in the streets. last weekend, this weekend in Australia. So what would your advice be for people like us to, to get involved and to support this movement?
I think it's just using your voice, man. I think especially at this point right now, like I said earlier in the call, like this didn't start. This stuff has been going on. I think now it's hit a point where like people are just, at some point, right, you come to your wits end.
It's got momentum, hasn't it?
Yeah, and it's got a lot of momentum, and people have just it's been boiling, just boiling, and now like everyone's lid is blown. But for you guys, man, to just be as vigilant as we are. I don't think people of color are asking for anything that's unreasonable. We're not asking for monuments. We're not asking for things, dollar bills to be named after us. We're not asking for, our houses to be paid off. That would be great if you want to do that, but no one's asking for that. We're just asking for a simple thing. Just treat us how you would like to be treated, right? And if you are upset that we're not getting that treatment or that you're seeing the injustices yourself, that's enough. But to take it a step further, to use this platform and use you guys' voice to just speak out against that stuff, protest with us. If you haven't already, walk those streets with us, make your voices be heard, get out and vote, and not for the likes of that we have in office. So man, like, all those things you can do, tweet about it, post about it, all of those things, man, like just to have non-people of color's voices to be heard and their perspectives about it, singing the same tunes that we sing, that's huge, man. Like that's huge, and that's the next level of it, right? Like, why are we negotiating equality? It baffles me. Like,
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I read a lot of guys, I follow a lot of guys socially, and some of the stuff they post, and the comment sections just be like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, what? And it's just unreal, man. Like, but listen, man, you guys, the more you can talk about it and the more you can just reiterate the same things that we're saying, being white guys, man, that speaks volumes, bro.
Awesome.
Like you were saying, Damien, it's a dangerous territory when you're reading the comments online.
Oh my God. Like I've had to log off of almost every one of my social media platforms. Yeah. Like I log back in throughout the day just to check and see if I have any messages I need to get to. That's why it takes me, a couple minutes to see you guys' messages. Yeah. But I'll be having to log off, man, because I can't relate to ignorance. Like I don't understand. It's too much information out here for people that are at everyone's disposal for people to be this ignorant about it. Yeah. Like it's just too much information. I don't understand it. Some people talk and haven't picked up a book since grade school, and they're just talking and talking and talking. But man, this message doesn't get across without non-people of color speaking up.
Yeah. Damien Wilkins, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on the Paceroos Podcast.
Appreciate that. This was fun. Took me back, man. I want to hoop.
Yeah. And we hope to see you in Australia at some point. Yeah.
Australia don't sign 40-year-old guys, do they?
Yeah.
We'll ask. We'll ask.
They said we'll ask.
Damien, thank you so much for your time on the Paceroos Podcast.
All right. Thanks, guys. You guys be safe.